Ponzi boys, assemble. Man, this thing is going to do numbers. In 2018, there was a contract that came out called P3D. It was a reiteration or a spin on the original contract, Proof of Weak Hands. Basically, the name of the game is don't stop looking at the game. If you stop looking at the game, you're going to lose. So what I've done is, you'll see I have a clock here. We'll talk about that in a second. But basically a huge pot of ETH. The last person paying attention to the pot wins. Put it like that. That pot on P3D got to over 700 ETH, bro. Unfortunately, it was exploited. It was exploited and someone stole all the ETH. And I think they did that be some type of way with gas where they were able to basically hog up the block space so that nobody could get in at that last second. So here we are today with a new iteration of it, which is going pretty well. And I think they might have cracked the code. Let's jump into it. So this is XenGame. It's 64 ETH in it right now. Now, what you might say is, well, why wouldn't this explode? I don't know. Maybe it will. There's only one way to find out. It hasn't yet. So there's that. That's why I'm kind of late talking about this, because I wanted to give it a couple days. And the way it's designed is there's really no rush to get in because of the way the key and everything, the mechanism works. We're going to talk about that. So let's jump into it. What is XenGame? XenGame is a decentralized, trustless blockchain game hosted on the Ethereum network and more chains soon. Here's a TLDR explanation of how the game works. XenGame is an exciting jackpot game where the ultimate winner is the last person to acquire a key at the end of a round. During a round, participants have the opportunity to buy keys, extending the timer and positioning themselves for victory. The cost of each key gradually rises as keys are purchased. Players who possess keys receive a continuous stream of passive rewards from the game, generated by ongoing key purchases during the round. These rewards can be withdrawn at any time, but keys must be sacrificed to do so. That's one important change right there. When the timer hits 0, the individual who purchased the final key emerges as the triumphant winner. Key burners and Apex MT holders also receive a small share of the spoils. The game begins with a jackpot and 12 hours on the timer. Players can purchase one or more keys using ETH to put themselves in the winning position. The last player who purchases a full key before the timer reaches 0 wins the grand prize. There's a catch though. Each time a key is purchased, 30 seconds are added to the timer. Note, the timer will not extend beyond a maximum of 12 hours regardless of how many keys are purchased. If someone purchases 2,880 keys, that should add 24 hours worth of time, 2,880 times 30 seconds. But because the timer has a limit, it will only push the timer back up 12 hours. This does not mean the game will end after 12 hours. So it's very important to note that just because you see 11 hours and 24 seconds left, it doesn't mean it's going to end there. Someone can buy more keys, but the most you can push it up to is 12 hours. So one key is 30 seconds, 2 keys is 60 seconds, 3 keys is 90 seconds, etc. All the way up to 12 hours, but you can purchase more than 2,880 keys. Keys. A little key will open a very heavy door. Purchasing a key puts a player in the winning position for the grand prize, and it entitles them a portion of the game's ongoing revenue. The starting price of a key will be 1/10,000,000th of the starting jackpot value. The price of keys increases slightly with each key purchase. The revenue collected from the key purchases is distributed in 4 ways. Key holders get 50%. Jackpot gets 30%. Burn Fund gets 15%. Apex Fund gets 5%. 50% is distributed to key holders, with each key holder receiving a share proportional to the number of keys he holds. 30% is added to the jackpot. 15% goes to the Burn Fund, and 5% goes to the Apex Fund. Players can withdraw their key rewards at any time, but doing so will burn all of their existing keys. Players can also reinvest their rewards directly, which will use their unclaimed rewards to buy keys at the current price. Reinvesting will not burn the player's existing keys. So if you hit This withdrawal button, all of your keys go bye-bye and you get no more earnings unless you buy more keys. When the price of a key reaches 1/1,000,000th of the jackpot value, the price resets back to 1/10,000,000th of the jackpot value. The reset mechanism ensures the elasticity of the key supply and manufactures periods of demand by offering a 90% discount on keys. Since the jackpot value is increasing with each key purchase, the average key price will always be increasing too. The price of a key right now is only 0.000, 4 zeros and a 4, which is cents. It's got to be cents, right? When it gets to 4 zeros and a 6, 4, 3, 4, the price of a key will reset to 1/10,000,000th. So it'll be 5 zeros and a 6, 4, 3, 4. So that's really, really cheap relative to where it is now. Now, I've seen it happen, it usually happens once or twice a day. So it happens often. That's how you can get cheap rewards, basically. And that's what makes this game so much different than the past. In the past, the key price only went up. Keys are going to get more expensive on this one, but on the original one, it got expensive really fast. So most people were priced out. So the jackpot stalled out and it was easy for someone to win or ultimately exploit it. But with this one, the key price is dropping 90% each time. So it gives everyone a discount. So it's going to be a while before this is, getting to prices that are, making people uncomfortable buying a key. So we have 3 more decimal places before it even starts to get, expensive. And that will be about 6,000 ETH. At 6,000 ETH, the price would be 0.006 for a key. And that's not even counting where it resets to. So it's really solid. The only thing that gets me concerned is this pot itself, because the larger this gets, the more attractive it's going to be to an exploiter. And that's why I kind of want to do this video, because I want to know early. I don't want to see this thing get to 6,600 ETH, a whole bunch of ETH piled in, and then someone comes along and exploits it like they did the original one. So just putting that out there, there is that risk that this could still get exploited, but it has been audited 2 times, I believe. And I think they already found the exploit. There's some history. You can go back and find out about how they found the first exploit and did a second version of the game, etc. So we'll see. Note, the price reset mechanism occurs on the transaction after the one which brings the key price over the reset threshold. So it's possible that if multiple keys are purchased in the threshold breaking transaction, the price paid for the keys will far exceed the threshold. So basically, just because you send a transaction at the threshold doesn't mean you're going to get the bottom. Users can purchase keys by specifying a fixed quantity of keys or by specifying a fixed amount of ETH to send. Users can also use the buy a key 1x button, which will purchase exactly 1 key. Stay tuned for my strategy. I'm going to also give my strategy on how I'm going to play the game. So maybe stick around for the end to see how you can compete against me and basically take my strategy. Anyway. Burn fun. It burns Zen. It's a cool story. Apex. There's one way you can get yield without actually buying keys, and that's by owning one of these Apex NFTs that you can get on, I think it's Zen.network. Zen with an X. Zen.network. Inside joke there. You can go here and NFT and make one. And what you can do is you can register that Apex NFT and you'll get ETH just for holding it. And the higher the legendary, epic, whatever, the more of that you're going to get, because as it said earlier, 5% goes to the Apex fund. In the game, It's better to burn out than to fade away. This is one of the most, and I'm going to give my strategy for this as well. Should the game timer ever reach 0, the round will end. The jackpot will be distributed in 4 ways. Grand prize, 50%. 50% of this. So the grand prize, the last key holder as of now, if you were to win the jackpot right now with 64, and by the way, look in the comments and tell me what the pot is at as you're watching. Is it at 0? Did somebody rug it? Or is it like 600, 6,000? So right now, the final key winner, the last key purchase would win 32 ETH. Key burners, not key holders. Key burners. Now, this is a very important. I'm glad they put this in parentheses. Not key holders. Key burners. They get 20%. So let's take a look. Right now, you can kind of look at keys as a token, even though they're not a token, but you can look at them as a token. When the game started, there were about 10 million keys, right? Now there are only 8.6 million keys. 1.8 million have been burned. So if the game were to end in 11 hours, this pool of people would get 20% of this. So that would be about 12 ETH, I believe. Yeah. And that's not many. Most of the people are still in the game, and these people wouldn't get anything. So if you just sit in the game, if you just buy keys and don't win, you'll get your rewards, but you won't win. It will take you a really long time to earn back your keys, to earn back the ETH that you spent for the keys. It could happen, but it'll take a very long time if you don't burn your keys. The way to win is to burn your keys and for the clock to end. I burn my keys, and then in 11 hours, the clock ends. That's the, and I snipe it and win it. Like, that's the best case scenario. But if I don't win and I burn, I'm probably going to, and it ends, I'm going to do okay. So you really have to weigh out that option. And 10% of the pot at the end goes to the next round, if there is ever a next round. So there's a lot of potential here. There's the potential to earn a lot of ETH that you're going to get in a long time from now, or the potential to never get anything. It's really interesting because the only way to get any rewards from it is to burn your keys. And if you burn your keys, you stop getting rewards. So, what's my strategy? I really don't want to tell you guys what my strategy is, so give me a second. So, to be honest, here's my strategy. It's not loading up for some reason, but if you click on this backup site right here, you can see how many rewards. So I have 0.18 ETH in rewards already, and I have 0.006 ETH in referral rewards already. You can also see the action on the price as well. It's a little buggy, but you can see when that reset happens. Now it's kind of a deal, So my strategy is I'm in, right? I've already got my keys. Here are my active keys, 160,000. So these keys are earning me rewards right now. I have 19 referrals. So also another really, really important thing is when you buy a key, make sure you get a discount. Because when you buy a key using the links XenGame/discount, you actually get a discount. And when you get the discount, it'll go to your referral earnings. It'll be like points, whatever. It'll send it back to you that way. Let me see, is that in here? Yeah, vanity names. So you get 5% back by using that link. So I'm already in. So what I want to do is either I want to pick a side. Do I want the game to end, or do I want it to keep going? And as you can see by this video, I want it to keep going. So I got my keys and now I'm just waiting. I'm just watching it, enjoying seeing people buy keys. I like when the clock gets down low. When it gets to like under an hour, people start, like, as you can see, we just had a scare. It got down to like 15 minutes. And then we see New Scent came in with and bought 2,000 keys and bumped it back up to 12. Then another flurry of buys. It must have been the reset. So the reset bumped it back up. Now, what'll be interesting is to see what happens when a reset isn't about to happen and the clock is really low. So it's a lot of different ways to look at it. So I'm just watching the clock, enjoying the rewards, and every time it gets down low,
pause.
Every time it gets down low, I make a decision. I say, am I gonna send out a tweet or am I going to just let it play out? And most of the time I just say I'm going to let it play out and I'm going to try and win. But if there becomes a time at night, it's 3 a.m., 15 minutes on, or 2 hours on the clock or 3 hours, right? Some weird setup, it's going to happen for somebody and you're going to have to make that decision. Do I go to sleep and maybe don't get anything, you know what I'm saying? Or do I burn to be safe and just say, man, I'm done watching this clock. I'm just gonna burn my keys and just hopefully it ends. Or do I post a tweet and say, hey, everybody, look, the game's still going. It's almost about to end. Maybe come snipe it, or do I sit in the cut quietly and try and snipe it? So, I'm basically doing it day by day. Like right now, I'm just going to hold on to my keys, but I am getting tired of looking at this clock. I'm getting tired of watching it. It kind of captures you once you're in and you got your keys. You kind of got to watch the clock. It's a very good design. The only thing, like I said, is it can't get hacked. If you want to play, I recommend using the discount link in the description. I get 5% and you get 5%.